Welcome back. You're watching World News straight from Warsaw, Poland with me, Anna Kalczyńska. Good morning. Defense ministers from the Big Five, that is Poland, Germany, France, Italy and the UK, will meet on Monday in Poland to discuss the most pressing issues. Warsaw's defense minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz will be in attendance.
The war in Ukraine will be at the top of the agenda. Ukrainian Defense Chief Rustem Umerov will join the meeting online. The ministers will also discuss changes taking place overseas, that is, the upcoming inauguration of US President-elect Donald Trump.
The Polish Foreign Ministry has responded to accusations that Warsaw denied the Slovakian parliamentary delegation flying to Moscow passage through Polish airspace. According to the spokesperson of the Polish MFA, this request submitted by the Slovakia was incomplete. A six-person delegation from the Slovakian parliament traveling to Moscow had to reroute their flight to avoid crossing through Polish airspace. Deputy Speaker of the Slovakian parliament, Andrzej Danko, has said that Warsaw denied the delegation passage, adding that he does not understand the decision. The Polish Foreign Ministry says, however, that the Slovakians failed to fulfill proper paperwork and amendments were not submitted in time, prompting the Slovakian delegation to change their route. Alexei Navalny's former advisor, Vladimir Milov, says he's sure that Russia and Slovakia made a pre-arranged agreement for the supply of Russian gas. According to Milov, gas sales to the EU are the only thing keeping Russian companies afloat.
I'm absolutely sure that Moscow made a pre-arranged agreement with Fico's government to continue the uninterrupted supplies of gas to Slovakia, which is most certainly going on right now. There's available capacity for this through Turkish Stream pipeline that runs through Black Sea, through the Turkish territory and further on to the Balkans and Central Europe. I'm absolutely confident that Slovakia gets the gas, and Gazprom itself is very much interested in continued uninterrupted flow of gas to Hungary, Slovakia and other European countries which still continue to buy it. Because European exports is still very much profitable. That's the only thing that keeps Gazprom afloat these days. Energy exports to China are not generating any significant profits, so Gazprom needs continued sales to Hungary, Slovakia, Italy, whichever European countries are ready to buy it.
The results of the runoff round in the presidential elections in Croatia are in. The incumbent Zoran Milanović has taken nearly three-quarters of the vote, securing a second term in office. Milanović was the favorite of the race, coming just shy of an outright majority at 49% of the vote in the first round.
Backed by the Social Democrat Party, Milanović is an outspoken critic of Western military support for Ukraine and has frequently clashed with the ruling party over foreign and public policy issues during his five-year term. His pro-Russian stance contrasts with his record as former prime minister who oversaw Croatia's EU accession in 2013. Milanović's victory is a blow to the ruling party, the Croatian Democratic Union, already weakened by a corruption case involving the former health minister, which became public in November.
In a speech on Sunday night, Croatian President-elect Milanović thanked the voters for their support, saying that he sees his victory as a recognition of his work and a strong message to the government about the need for responsible governance of the state.
This is a big day for me. I see this victory as a sign of approval of my efforts over the past 5 years, and an act of trust that people have for me. It is also a message from Croatians to those who should hear it, and I ask them to heed it. But aside from my voters, there are people here who chose a different candidate. So please, give a big round of applause for the members and voters of the Croatian Democratic Union.
The incoming White House National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, recently spoke about the Trump administration's effort to end the ongoing war in Ukraine. According to Waltz, Trump is likely to speak with Vladimir Putin in the near future.
Well, the preparations are underway. But just taking a step back for a moment, John, it's been striking to me just since President's election how many people have gone from just unqualified blank check as long as it takes, whether that's months, years, decades, in terms of perpetuating this war, which really has bogged down to a World War I style meat grinder of people and resources with World War III consequences, to now even President Zelenskyy walking in the room in Paris and saying, ready to work with you to end this war. Let's end it justly, responsibly, in a way that protects Ukraine's future, but ends this thing, and so the entire world can move on from it. So from President Trump's perspective, you can't enter a deal if you don't have some type of relationship and dialogue with the other side, and we will absolutely establish that in the coming months.
In his nightly address on Sunday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy announced that he is prepared to return captured North Korean soldiers to Pyongyang in exchange for Ukrainian prisoners of war held in Russia.
The Security Service of Ukraine continues working with prisoners of war from North Korea. One of them has expressed a desire to stay in Ukraine, while the second one wants to return to Korea. If Kim Jong-un even remembers these citizens of his and is capable of organizing an exchange for our warriors held in Russia, we are ready to transfer such soldiers. Undoubtedly, there will be more North Korean POWs. I am grateful to all our units that are contributing to Ukraine's exchange fund.
Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić has announced that his country will officially offer to host a meeting between U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and the Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to Trump, plans for his meeting with Putin are already underway. However, no details have been made public yet.
In a television broadcast on Sunday, Vučić said that Serbia is ready to host the Trump-Putin meeting and can guarantee appropriate security for both men. According to the Serbian leader, Belgrade is well suited to host Trump and Putin because it is not a member of any military alliances such as NATO. Vučić also added that Serbia is, quote, the country where President Trump has the greatest support in Europe and where President Putin is still very popular.
Anti-government protesters gathered in Belgrade on Sunday to commemorate victims of a railway station roof collapse, the blame for which has been placed on the country's authorities. Tens of thousands took part in the latest demonstration.
Anti-government protesters gathered in Belgrade on Sunday to commemorate victims of a railway station roof collapse for which they blame the country's authorities. Tens of thousands of people took part in the demonstration. The demonstrators turned on the lights on their phones and stood in silence for 15 minutes to pay tribute to the victims of the tragedy. They blame President Aleksandar Vučić's ruling Serbian Progressive Party for corruption and nepotism, which both he and his party deny. The protest was organized by Belgrade State University students who are demanding that those responsible for the roof collapse be held accountable.
Germany is reorganizing its territorial defense forces and creating a new 4th division in the branch. The announcement comes just a little over a week before the inauguration of Donald Trump, who had been vocal about the need to increase defense spending among NATO members.
According to the reports, the 4th Division will be tasked with domestic defense, including the protection of key infrastructure across Germany, such as ports, railways, and supply and deployment routes. The number of territorial defense troops will remain unchanged at 180,000. The reorganization is set to take effect on April 1st.
And thousands of supporters of Călin Georgescu took to the streets of Bucharest on Sunday, demanding a second round of presidential elections. The first was annulled after evidence of foreign interference in the vote had come to light.
Right-wing populist Georgescu unexpectedly won the first round of the presidential elections on November 24th, but Romania's constitutional court annulled the results 2 weeks later, citing illegal use of digital technologies, as well as the use of undeclared sources of funding by Georgescu. The Alliance for the Unity of Romanians party invited supporters from across the country to the rally on Sunday, asking them to mark a month since a dictatorship was established in Romania.
The death toll in the Los Angeles area has risen to 24 as wildfires continue to spread. Efforts to contain the fires are being hindered by intense winds, with losses estimated to exceed $100 billion. 11 deaths have been confirmed in the Eaton fire near Altadena, while another 5 fatalities have been reported in the Palisades fire. Search teams, aided by specialized dogs, are combing through the rubble. Over 150,000 residents have been ordered to evacuate their homes. Authorities have arrested 22 individuals in connection with looting and curfew violations as the investigation unfolds. Despite the firefighters' relentless efforts, the fire remained out of control. Strong winds have swept through the burning neighborhoods, subsiding only briefly before picking up again. Approximately 12,000 buildings, including the famous Getty Center Museum, have been destroyed. Polish tennis star Iga Świątek has advanced to the second round of the Australian Open. The world's number 2 female tennis player defeated Czech Kateryna Siniakova in 2 sets to move up. This was the Iga Świątek's first Grand Slam match under her new Belgian coach Wim Fissette. It is also her first appearance in 3 years at a tournament of this importance, where she's not the highest seeded player. Aryna Sabalenka is the current leader of the WTA ranking, and Świątek comes second. The Polish tennis player will now face Slovakian Rebeka Sramkova in the second round of the tournament. The other Polish player in the tournament, Magdalena Fręch, has also advanced to the second round after beating Russian Polina Kudermetova. Fręch will face another Russian, Anna Blinkova, next. And that's all from us in this edition of World News. Stay tuned to TVP World for more. Thank you for watching.